Good afternoon. When someone starts a diet, that usually means that the old way of doing things is going to have to stop. That if they weren't exercising before, they're probably going to have to start exercising now. If they were eating just terrible foods before, those are going to have to stop now. If a diet is being administered by a doctor, then the doctor might do things to try to check up on the person, to make sure that they're sticking with their diet the way that they're supposed to. If there's some other person who's going to be accountability for the individual, then that person's going to need to know what they're eating, what they're doing for exercise, what they're doing during the day for stress. They're going to have to take all of those things into account, and then they're going to be able to say, if you really want to succeed, if you really want to progress in this diet, things are going to have to change. The old way of doing things is going to have to stop. God says the same thing about you and me as Christians, that there is an old way of doing things that needs to stop. It needs to go away and never come back. And the only way for that to happen, it is not for us to do something with our own strength. It's not for us to turn inward and say, how can I do this? How can I make sure that I never fall into those things again? No, the only way that we can do it is by crucifying the sinful nature. And the only way that that happens is by connection to Christ Jesus through faith. That's what Paul is saying in his letter to the Galatians, chapter 5, verse 24. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the sinful flesh with its passions and desires. All those old ways of doing things that were associated with the sinful nature are crucified now. Crucified with Christ Jesus. And that means forgiven by Christ Jesus. Because when Jesus was crucified, those sins were crucified. But Jesus rose from the dead, and you rise from the dead too. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.